Hi, thanks for listening. In this video, I am with a friend and we're doing a podcast. And what I share here is my 10-day Vipassana experience, which really is the preface to the book, You Are Held in Love. So I wanted to share it here to give a little bit more background on what that Vipassana experience was like, as it is really the foundation and the awakening that occurred in order for the book to be written itself. So I hope you enjoy.
Vipassana.
Vipassana.
Okay. Yeah. So
Is that the silent retreat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So on the 15th of June, and I think the year was 2016, so it's not really that long ago. On the 15th of June, I was kind of like woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, kind of in that middle of not really awake, and I hear a voice say, "July 31st is the day." And I've heard this before, just a few times, and it usually is instruction. It's not like a declaration. You know what I mean? It's like, and I would follow that. And once I started realizing, oh, I can follow that, then it's like life started to become more effortless in what I was doing. It was like life started to pull me into it rather than me like going, you know what I mean? And like that happened at the end of because I think it happened because of a prayer I made. Like it's like, may I be blessed to easily perceive and understand the messages being shared with me. And like when you like to really get that, right? Like it's so simple and yet so all encompassing of what it is that you get out of that prayer, right? Mm-hmm. And so like after that, like I'd start to hear this. And so on the 15th of June, I'm like, what the fuck's the 31st of July mean? Like, what does that mean, And so I like sat with that for like a week or whatever, trying to figure out like, what's happening in 40 days?
My neighbor's going, sorry.
Oh, no, that's right. And I made the meaning to be that 40 days from now, I'm not here anymore. Like, that's what it felt like it was. Like, my time here's done.
Like death.
Yeah.
On the 31st.
And I was like, yeah. And so,
okay.
so then it's like, okay, 40 days left. Like, what's your life look like? What are you doing? And then the whole, like, do you have, are there, is there a bucket list? What do you want to do? And like with that examination, it became this absolute realization that, and it was really funny. It went all the way back to my wedding vows. How I spend my life, how I spend my time is how I spend my life. And I want to spend my life with you. Like that was, we wrote these vows and that was it. Right. And like that came back to me at that time. And I was like, that's exactly what's happening. How I'm spending my time is how I'm spending my life, and I wouldn't do it any differently than I'm doing it.
That's what you came to.
That's what I came to, and I was just like...
You came to, I wouldn't do it any differently.
I wouldn't do it. What I'm doing is what I'm doing, and who I'm doing it with is exactly what I want to be doing.
Wow.
And yeah, so it's like...
That's exciting.
That was it, yeah. So it was just like... absolute, like weeping. It was very, very emotional, like super.
Oh, wow.
And, whether that meaning was right or wrong, like it's funny, the meaning that you put around stuff and how big of a thing that can make it. And you could be completely off,
Mm-hmm. Maybe this shouldn't even be asked. Did anything happen on July 31st?
So what's funny is at that time that happened, I forgot that I was signed up for Vipassana. So fast forward a couple weeks, July's here. Like the 4th of July, and I get an email. It's like, hey, you've got Vipassana coming up. And I still am wondering what the hell's happening on July 31st. Like, I'm not quite sure, Mm-hmm. And this thing shows up, and it's like, hey, you've got a 10-day Vipassana retreat. It starts on, like, whatever day that would be, the 18th or 19th. It ends on the 31st. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I don't know if I want to go. Like, maybe I get in a wreck on the way home or something, Yeah. And so Kim's like, no, like, this is it. Like, go. That's what it's about. And so I went. And 2 a.m. And that in itself was just like a ridiculous experience of what came online there. Like literally ridiculous. Being able to feel on my skin the energy of my body, acknowledging the fact that a bird was chirping across the way before I ever fucking heard it. Like, the bird would chirp, my body would recognize the chirp, my brain would, and my body would respond and create an energy signature on, and this is what happens, right? Your body it takes these sensory inputs, generates like electricity and sends all that wherever, right? And so I could feel that bird. My body recognized the bird's chirp before my brain recognized it as a sound. Like that's how slow time was going. And then on the 31st, I woke up at like 2 a.m. in the morning and I could hear energy going up my spine. Like boom, boom. I could hear it crossing the chakras as it went. And then as soon as it exited the top, I was just absolutely engulfed in white light, like just pure bliss. Just.
Do you mean that metaphorically, or do you mean that like actually engulfed in white light?
I mean, it didn't feel metaphoric, but I'm sure it was because I'm in a room with 20 other people. You know what I mean? And I don't think they saw the light. And so, and then after that, it's like,
wow.
So it was straight up like I-35 straight east on 80 or whatever out of Minneapolis. I couldn't figure out how to get home. I literally could not figure out how to get home. It was like everything it was like there was 100-year-old window that no one ever cleaned. Like, I mean, literally, that got yanked out of the way. And it's like, this is what reality looks like. You've been looking through a freaking cloud the whole time. And I was like, holy fuck. Like, and it wasn't, and so I, like, with my eyes, it was super clear. It was like literally like someone took a dirty window that I had no idea was there, that had gotten dirty over time, and just yanked it out of the way. And that also is what happened to every other sense. It's like, this is the information that's available. And so then it's just like, oh, that, yeah, so now all I'm doing is just paying attention to the information that's available. Like there's nothing. It's not a mental exercise, really.
It's an incredible story.
Yeah, it is.
Do you think that's